welcome to my new YouTube channel. So my name is Star, and welcome, guys. So today I'm going to do something that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, and introduce you to the world of true crime. And yes, I am so excited to be here, and guys, I'm really excited to get to do this for you. So guys, this is now my second video. I had another video that I did a long time ago, and I'm going to try to do this a little bit more often, but for today, we're going to do something really cool. A lot of times I see people start, like, trends, or, like, they're talking about, like, the, you know, top 10 serial killers out there, but I don't see a lot about the women, so we're going to represent for the women here. Not saying doing any of that is great. So remember, viewer discretion is advised for this video. And guys, today we are going to talk about one of the top 10 women serial killers. And if you have never seen her, I will show a picture of her somewhere up here. But guys, today we're talking about Dorothy Puente. And if I said her name wrong, I apologize. If you want to comment and let me know how it's pronounced, great. Whatever. This is, like I said, I'm really nervous about this, so hopefully you guys will take it easy on me. But guys, let's just go ahead and get into the video, and welcome to my new channel, and let's get started. So guys, this lady has got so many different nicknames, so I kind of picked one. Guys, welcome to the story about the Death Landlord, or landlady, is like she wanted to be called. Well, that's her nickname, was Death Landlady. So Dorothy Puente was known for a lot of different things, and guys, this story is so mind-blowing, it's crazy. So guys, let me go ahead and get into it. So she was born Dorothy Helen Porter Gray. She is one of the top 10 women serial killers known. Basically, she ran a boarding house from 1980s in Sacramento, California. And then basically, to kind of make a short story short, she did some really horrible things to these people. But I'm going to go in more detail. Like I said, I just want, again, viewer discretion is advised. So please, if you are watching this and some sensitive things come up for you, please, if you don't want to watch it, just giving you warnings now. So guys, basically, she had the nickname Death House Lady. So basically, Dorothy Puente was born as Helen Gray. She was born in Redlands, California. She basically didn't have the greatest childhood, and basically her dad was an alcoholic. He basically just threatened to kill himself all the time in front of his kids, and then she kind of, you know, had to grow up really super fast. Her dad did pass away in 1937 due to tuberculosis. After that, the mother kind of lost custody of the children, and so then she got put into a place or a home. Basically was having some things happen to her. Sexual abuse definitely happened. She was married several times after that. The last count I actually, when I was doing research on this story, was 4 times. So I only picked 2 of the marriages because they were very, very interesting in a way. The other ones, she was only married for short periods of time, but the 2 that I did pick, and I'll go in more detail about them, there was a guy named, in 1952, she was married to a merchant seaman. Basically, his name was Axel Byrne Johnson in San Francisco, California. She basically created a fake persona calling herself Tia. She said that she was a Muslim woman from Egypt and Israel descent. Basically, they had a very horrible marriage. Gray took advantage of Johnson's finger trips by inviting men to their home and gambling away all of his money. So basically, everything he earned that he sent back to his wife, she would blow. Basically. Then Gray started having some issues where she started getting into trouble. She wasn't the greatest person in the fact that she was arrested several times. Kind of should have given some people some, you know, those little red flag warnings. Well, red flag. So basically, she was not a stranger of getting into trouble. She was arrested several times in very crazy ways. The first one she was arrested was in 1948. She was arrested for purchasing women's accessories and also forging checks. She did plead guilty to it and served 4 months and got 3 years of probation. Then she was released 6 months after that, and she left the area of Riverside, California. Then, about a few years later, when she married the guy, Johnson, she was arrested again. She was arrested in 1960 and then owned and operated a bookkeeping firm, also for a brothel in Sacramento, California, and was found guilty and was sentenced to 90 days in the Sacramento, California county jail. She committed and was committed to Dew State Hospital due to drinking and lying and also criminal behavior. It also said that she started to started making sense, and then she was diagnosed. Here's the kicker to this whole thing. She was diagnosed as a pathological liar, unstable personality, and she was also was marked as a manipulator for people to do things. So basically, pathological liar, unstable personality. So this is where it's all gonna start to connect. So after all that, like I said, she was sentenced for 90 days. Then she pretty much got put into that facility. Well, then she got divorced from Johnson in 1966. She continued to use her Johnson name for some following the separation, hiding her delinquent behavior by portraying herself as a devout Christian woman. She established a reputation for a caregiver, providing young women with basically providing them a home so that they wouldn't have any poverty or abuse without any type of things. Well, basically she cemented herself into this community. And then in 1968 she married a guy named Roberto Jose Pointier. After 16 months, the couple separated, with Gray saying that he was doing domestic abuse on her. In 1967, she attempted to serve him a divorce petition, and then he fled. Her husband fled to Mexico. The divorce would not be finalized until 1973. The two would continue to have a turbulent relationship, and Gray filed a restraining order in 1975. Gray then continued to use the surname Pointier for more than 20 years. Well, following that, she then focused on running a boarding house located near 15th and F Street in Sacramento, California. She established herself as a genuine resource to the community and to aid alcoholic, homeless people, and mental ill people by holding Alcohol Anonymous meetings and assisting individuals to sign up for Social Security benefits. She changed her public image to that of a respectable older matron by putting on vintage clothing, wearing large granny glasses, and letting her hair turn gray. She also established herself as a respected member of the Sacramento Hispanic community, following charities, scholarships, and radio programs. She eventually met and married Pedro Angel, I'm probably going to say this horribly and butcher this horribly wrong, Montalvo. Through Montalvo absolutely left the relationship a week after their marriage. So that's insane. So, on December 21st, 1978, Pointier was convicted of illegally cashing 34 state and federal checks that belonged to her tenants. Then she was given 5 years of probation in order to pay $4,000 in restitution. Okay. So, gotta take a little moment to let that ponder for you all. So let me just ask this question. If you could see, if you were an investigator during this time period, could you kind of see where this was going? I would just be mind blown. I'd be really? You guys, she's already been arrested since I've read this now 4 times, and she's gotten away with all of it. So fortunately, she got away with some more. and this is where it gets into where I'm going to say this again, and you're probably going to be like, oh my god, you probably said viewer discretion advised like 6,000 times, but I'm going to say it again. So viewer discretion is now super advised, because the next steps to this is going to be really sad, and I'm really sad about when I was reading this and doing the research about it. Guys, this lady did some horrific things to some horrific people. And if you guys have ever seen, I know a lot of people have probably seen this story told, but there was a documentary about this lady. There was also, if you ever watch Ghost Adventures, Ghost Adventures actually did a investigation at her home, at this specific home. And let me just tell you, there's some disturbing things that this lady did. So we're going to get into it. We're going to deep dive into it. So let's just do that now. So guys, she had this boarding house for people that needed homes. So fortunately, some people, like I said, she was found guilty. She did go ahead and, was given 5 years of probation. On January 16, 1982, Pointier picked up a Malcolm McKenzie of 74, and I will post a picture of them, from a bar and took him back to her apartment. He reported that Pointier slipped something into the street before robbing him of coins, watches, and other jewelry, including a diamond ring that belonged to his mother, which she removed from his finger while he was incapacitated. So basically, she killed him over a watch and coins and a diamond ring. On April 28, 1982, Ruth Monroe, 61, was found dead due to respiratory depression caused by massive overdose of codeine. Monroe was reported in good health, and she arrived at Pontier's home just over 2 weeks prior to her death. However, by April 25th, she told a friend, "I am sick. I feel like I was going to die." Monroe's death was originally ruled an undetermined overdose, but later classified as a homicide. So on May 16, 1982, Dorothy Osborne, 49, found checks, credit cards, and other items missing 8 hours after Pointier visited her home and prepared a drink for her. So then, January 1892, Pointier was convicted of 3 grand theft charges. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison, state parole, until March 21st, 1986, and federal parole sentence extended another 2 years until 1999. During the incarceration, she began corresponding with a Everett Theodore Gilmouth, a 77-year-old retired from Oregon. At the beginning of September 1985, Gilmouth came to Sacramento and basically started to live in the boarding house. It's really a lot of pages here, and I'm just trying to short-live it. So basically, Gilmouth basically started, they were really good friends. Pointier gets released from prison. Basically, he lives in the home, and then in October 1985, she writes to Gilmouth's sister informing that Gilmouth were to be married on November 2nd. A short time later, Pointier hires a handyman named Flores. Ismael Cormer Firmas Remodeling asked him to build a 6-foot by 30-inch by 30-inch storage box. So 6-foot by 30-inch by 30-inch storage box. She agrees to give Gilmouth a truck and an $800 as payment. The day after the completion of the box, she returned home and the box nailed shut. Pointier asked Fuentes to help her take the box, now weighed approximately 300 pounds. The storage box was ended up at a dump by the river, an hour from Sacramento. Basically, December 28, 1998, they determined that Gilmouth was previously unidentified body. What fishermen along the river, basically they found him in the river, in the box. Gilmouth's body was wrapped in numerous plastic bags and covered with bed sheets held by a place of electric tape. Mothballs and a blue towel deodorizer were found inside the box. It was later discovered that Gilmouth's death, Pointier made fake letters and cards to his sister. This is how disturbing this is. She would write letters to his sister to make sure that she could believe that he was still alive. It's crazy. She was also found, found to have forged Gil Mal's signature on his truck certificate and title, and continued to cash his checks until January or July 1986. So basically, just to kind of I don't want to overshadow the people that she killed, but guys, she killed several people. I mean, she literally killed, I've probably read several of them, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people she murdered. And you know, I don't want to ever short staff the fact that people were victims in it, but I will post a picture of all the victims, about, you know, kind of giving you an idea of what they look like, and you know, it's just sad. It's just a sad thing. It's horrible. So I'm gonna read one more victim that I really want you guys to understand the lengths that this one would go to. So, basically, she had this other guy in February 1988. This guy named Lavaro Bert Gomez Montoya was 51 years old. He arrived at her home in March, and basically applicated designs that benefit payee was on file. So she was his payee, basically. At the end of August, roommates saw a man clearing Montoya's clothes out of the closet. He missed an appointment August 29th and was last seen August 24th. Ponte told several people that he just went back to Mexico to visit with relatives. Social workers continued to attempt contact him November, and then basically Donald Anthony, a former convict that had been working in her yard, contacted a social worker pretending to be his brother-in-law, and then he agreed that he's called, starting his name was Michael Orgon, and that started to pick up Montoya from F Street and house and took him to Utah. Social worker was very suspicious about this, and then basically called the police on November 10th, until the social worker received a letter reporting that Michael Orgon wrapped in a paper towel and avoided fingerprints. Days later, Montoya's body was found burned adjacent to Carpenter. Toxicity tests revealed that he was basically drugged to death. There was probably lorazepam, loxapran, some of these I can't say, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 drugs in his body when they tested it. Such a horrible thing. Horrible. So basically, she murdered him. Basically, there's manipulation again. Now, let's get to where this all kind of ends. On November 7th, 1988, police spoke with John Sharp, a former resident, about the disappearance of Montoya. Literally, Sharp told police that he had seen Montoya 2 days early, that he slipped a note to the officer, said that she's making me lie. So you guys have to understand, Montoya, said, this guy's she's making me lie about this stuff. She's not a good person. And so later they met with an officer, told their story. On November 11, 1988, a detective returned to the residence for Ponte's house and asked permission to begin digging in the area. Appeared to be recently disturbed. 30 minutes later, he discovered the first body just hours after body was discovered in her backyard. She then decides to slip out of the house, away from the police, and go down to the coffee shop. She actually basically asked the cops, can I go down to the coffee shop while you're doing this? Just digging in my yard. Then in November 13, 1988, all points bulletin was issued for her. And on November 16, 1988, Charles, along with Gene Silver of CBS, alerted police that they knew the whereabouts of her. She was at a hotel in Los Angeles, who was using as Donna Johnson. The day before, in a nearby bar, she last recalled seeing her on a CBS morning newscast reaching out to Jean Silver, who met the Wiglows or whatever at this apartment. They too contact law enforcement, and then she's arrested the same day. So then, basically on November 17, 1988, she's then flown back to Hollywood Burbank Airport in Sacramento, escorted by the police, booked in the county jail, and she's formally charged with the murder of Montoya. March 10, 1989, criminal charges against Flores were dismissed due to the state of expiring 3 years after Gilmour's body was discovered. Flores later granted immunity for his testimony against Pontier. So the guy that helped do the box basically got immunity. March 31st, 1998, then a men's complaint was filed against charges for 9 counts of murder. Basically, special circumstances qualifying death penalty case. The investigators, her bodies were drugged until overdose, then wrapped them in a bed sheet, plastic lining, digging them open pits of the backyard were buried by May 24th, 1990. The prosecutor arrested the case, having called 71 witnesses, including 108 exhibits and the primary hearing. On June 1999, a judge ruled that there was circumstantial evidence to send the trial, and then July 31st, she pled not guilty. Then basically, they had a whole trial. Basically, you guys have to understand that that's a lot of things, like 108 things to show that this woman did all of that. It's crazy. February 9th, 1993, the conclusion of the trial. 156 witnesses testified, and over 3,001 exhibits have been submitted. Over 22,000 pages of transcripts reported. After deliberating for 11 days, on August 2nd, 1993, the jury told Judge Michael J. Virgil that they deadlocked on all 9 counts of murder as to further instructions. The next day, the judge ordered the jury to resume their efforts to break a deadlock. On August 26, 1993, Pontier was convicted of 3 counts of murder for Benjamin Fink, Lorena Carpenter, and Dorothy Miller. The jury, after deliberating 35 days, remained at deadlock on cases Ruth Monroe, Everett Theodore Gilmour, Betty Mae Palmer, James Gilbot, Verna Faye Martin, and also Albert Gomez Montoya. During the penalty phase of the trial, jurors found themselves deadlocked once again on October 13, 1993. Pontier was spared the death penalty on December 10th and was sentenced life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Was incarcerated at Central California Women's Facility in, I'm probably going to say this horribly wrong, Chowchilla? Probably saying that horribly wrong. But yeah, so she basically was put in prison for the rest of her life. And then on August 28th, 1997, a Hills Court in San Jose admitted that Pontier murder convicted about the order of juror misconduct. Basically, there was a 3-day hearing and then rejected all the allegations of jurors. So she thought the jury basically had misconducted something, and basically they didn't. There was nothing that they did wrong. And then on March 27, 2011, Pontier has passed away from natural causes, and she was 82 years old when she passed away. So guys, this isn't a crazy case, and I wanted to do this because it's not the fact that well, first of all, you killed 10 people and you only get her convicted for 3 people. I mean, you know how to manipulate the system. But guys, I really wanted to do this series, and I think it's really cool to kind of see, I guess I would like the backside of it. Well guys, I am so glad that you watched my video. If you like to, and you would like to see another story, let's do some like and subscribe here. So if you want to see some more and you want to see another video, please go ahead and just like and subscribe. And guys, thank you so much, and just remember to be yourself. Don't let anybody get you down. And guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching. And again, I would like to get this video to 1,500 likes. And if you've never been a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Thanks so much. You have a great day. And again, be yourself. Don't let anybody get you down.